Just like yesterday afternoon, Google dropped their latest edition of Firebase Studio, which actually Firebase Studio existed a little bit before, but they have totally stepped up the game. So I decided today we're going to do a hot take video. What's that? A hot take video is I am not practicing anything up front. We're going to figure it out as we go, but we're going to walk through step by step exactly how it performs and build an app live as we go with hopefully minimal editing. But if I do edit, I'll tell you where it messed up and I had to go back and do it over again. So here we are in Firebase. By the way, if you're interested in videos about how to build applications, how to create an AI automation agency, make sure you hit subscribe and the like, along with ring the bell so that you can be notified when new videos come out. Today, I'm going to just sort of go through the steps on Firebase, but I do have other videos and I'm making videos on how you can go through the process of not just using AI to develop the apps, but using AI to define what your application is, to make an app that is something people actually are going to want to use or that a company wants to pay for if you would like to develop those. But so for today, what we're going to do is take Firebase here and I'm going to come into Upwork. I have another video on how to use Upwork to come up with app ideas and how to prototype them for clients, but I'm going to just grab the information here on this page, and then I'm going to go back into Gemini. You don't have to, but Gemini is the app I chose to use. Now, once we're in Firebase, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some ideas because I don't want to come up with my own off of Upwork. I've got a separate video that you can see about how to use Upwork to come up with app ideas that people are actually looking for because they're posting it out there, and then prototype those in case you want to have a showcase for your own app development company, or if you want to do that to impress a client and offer to propose the app, they can see in real life what the prototype looks like. But all we're going to do is come into Upwork here. I found an app. I'm going to grab that application description as far as what the client is looking for. I'm going to come back here in Gemini and I'm going to paste that in there. And what I'm going to do is ask Gemini to do is to create a PRD for me, a product requirement document. And basically all that does is it takes this description and spells out in certain sections exactly what it is that I want, in this case, the landing page to do. We're starting with the landing page, make it simple on Firebase, then we'll build into like full function applications after that, but just want to test it out there. And so we paste this in here in Gemini. I'm using Flash Thinking, and I'm going to ask it for a PRD. And then this is what it's going to provide. It's developed a PRD. It has the sections like what's it for, what are the goals, target audience, key features, so on and so forth. Make it SEO friendly. All of the things that were asked for, and then a whole bunch of other things, including things that are out of scope for this initial launch. So ideas that Gemini came up with for a good landing page for this, that it would use maybe as we build this app out, or sorry, this landing page out further. For now, I'm just going to, if possible, copy this part of the PRD that Gemini created. Just going to head back in here into Firebase and paste it in and hit prototype with AI. Let's see what Firebase does. So the first thing it's going to do is, and it does this each time, whether it's a landing page or a full-fledged app, is it comes through and it provides the features for the app. Now, if you are doing vibe coding or whatever, and you just typed in, create a landing page for me about this, and that's all you did, you didn't have a full functioning PRD, it's going to still do this. It's just going to use its own thought process to get to it. In this case, it's using what we've added into the app, what we asked for as far as the features. And then it came up with its own style guide, which we didn't provide. If you decide you don't like the colors, you want to change the layout, if you want to change the features, you can come up here in Firebase and customize it. But if you're okay with the way it is, and I am, I'm just going to hit prototype the app. So it's just a human in the loop checkpoint to stop and see, does it have what you're looking for? You can, of course, go and change that later. While it's running through here, you'll see, if you ever noticed, it's building the code on the left and on the right is the chat. If you've ever seen coding apps that you'll see where it highlights red lines and then highlights green lines, what that's basically doing is it's iterating as it goes and refactoring the code. So it's taking the red line code, removing it, replacing it with the green. And it does the same thing later if you reiterate on your own, but it's actually reiterating, rethinking through the process as it goes here. And you see on the right here, it's your sort of progress is where it's at, what files it's built, and all of those pieces. So it's going through right now, and it's building out a TypeScript landing page for us. And so it's going to pop up with the initial landing page, but it's also asking for your Gemini API key, which is cool because this is a Google product and Gemini is a Google LLM. You can use that within your applications for any of the AI portions of it to utilize Gemini via the API. If you want to go to the Gemini API page and generate your own API specific to this app, or for maybe you have one API for all of your apps that you're building, you can generate the API key there and paste it in here. Or in this case, because I don't care, I'm just going to hit auto generate, which is a really cool feature of this. And I don't have to go back out to other sources and get that API key. Now, if I wanted to use another LLM, I'm not so sure about that because it's only asking for Gemini, but I have found Gemini to work great. And so as you'll see here, I put that in and it's going to run through and hook up the API for me. And there it goes. It's all done. It re-highlighted and refreshed the landing page, and it gave us this landing page. Let's see what it did. Put in the welcome little subheader. We can download it for Android. We can download it for iOS, and we can subscribe via the newsletter here, which is what the application was supposed to do. And it certainly gave us, let's say, a minimum viable product MVP. It's pretty minimally viable. If we go back here and we look at the PRD that we created with Gemini and what our goals are, increase app downloads. I think I get that. It's got the buttons down here. That's cool. Enhance brand awareness, effective communication of the mission energetic brand. I think we got energetic and stuff here. I'm not sure anything else. And then generate leads, capture email addresses interested through the newsletter sign up. We have our newsletter, get the latest tips. I guess I don't think I'd sign up. I'll just be honest. And then improve SEO visibility with the structure of the page. I think it got really basic, and that's, you expect that from a first run. Let's take the PRD and then think about how we can coach Firebase on this. It gets us to the page where people could download the app. It doesn't really tell them why they're there or what they're doing. So the first thing I'm going to say is, let's add some, let's see here. So we're saying, let's add some more info about the app, and really the key, which is why people would want to download the app. And so I said, put it in the hero section, sort of up at the top, and the thing below this. So where that image is right now, let's see what it does. It's going to think through this process. It's going to refactor the code. You see the red again. It's going to remove code. It's going to add code. It keeps track of what it's adding and removing. And then it comes back almost there. Yep, it's there. By the way, you can tell it's done when the little checkbox that says current shows up there and it tells you what it updated. So it kept the header as we expected. The hero, traveling alone, some info about that. We didn't give it a lot of info about the app, so it only has so much to go off of. And so it gives us that, and then the app. Let's say, so what I said is, let's take this image up here and make it much smaller. Then in defense of Firebase, it doesn't know what the app's about, and I don't know what the app's about, so I can't guide it. We can only make stuff up. But make the image much less prominent and more about how cool the app is. And then also, as you'll see here, when we're in the page, our downloads, which is the key to the whole app, are below the fold, or below where you have to scroll to get to them. So I'm asking it to make that go higher up. Let's see how it does. And again, this is just a landing page. We're not talking about an application, which is a little bit different than what Firebase is designed to do, but I wanted to play with it and see what it does. Boom. Okay, so it did listen. Put that at the top. I think that's much better up there because the whole point to this thing is getting people to download the app. And now, so that's above the fold. The info about the app's there. I like that image better. That looks like a traveler looking for a travel buddy, whether you're into backpacking, luxury travel, etc. So it is taking the description and using that for an image. I didn't have to provide the image. That's pretty cool. And then subscribe to the newsletter. That was our last goal. And while the form is below the fold, the call to action to subscribe to the newsletter is above the fold. So that's what that does, is with a couple minutes of prompting and a few pieces of information as far as building out a landing page. I'm going to go through in some other videos, as I mentioned, about how to really structure up before you get to these no-code apps, how to do the work to get the app that you want to come out the back end. But if you'd like to see those videos, find out more about what we do, make sure you go below and check out other information about our channel. Make sure you hit subscribe and like and get information there. If you're interested in building an AI automation agency, or an agency that works with apps that use AI as automation on the back end, down in the link below, in the description, there's a link below. I said that right now. Or you can sign up and grab my AI automation agency ebooks, totally free, no hook to it. And you can find out more information about how to build out your own agency. Until next time, when we play with a few more of these, build out a couple more apps, make sure you get into Firebase Studio and check it out and see how you like it.